All right, good evening, not good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the FinTech Close-Up. Welcome to the FinTech Close-Up. Yes, much better. Now I feel the energy. So, FinTech Close-Up is a series of events where we invite from FinTech companies key persons who have driven these companies, who have grown these companies, and learn from their experience. My name is Arnis Blūmfelds. I'm FinTech Business Education Lead at Riga Business School. And today with me is Chief Executive Officer from ERST Finance, Arnis Blūmfelds.
Hi.
So, welcome Arnis. So, before we jump into the ERST Finance and about the FinTech part, let's start about yourself. Tell what you are, what you have learned, and how you actually have grown over the years. So, what's your background?
Okay, you mean from the business side, I believe.
Education also is good to know, yeah.
Okay, then let's start with that. I graduated banking university here in Riga, in Latvia, and then actually I was an intern in the Swedbank. At that time it was a Hansa Bank, and after a few months there I was proposed to stay there as an employee and spend there 7 years. And I was started like a simple call center officer, and was working during the nights and receiving very interesting calls from drunk customers and
blocked accounts, cards.
Yes, exactly. They were blaming me why they cannot pay with the card and etc. and etc. So it was a very interesting time for me. But I finished the career in the Swedbank as one of the most important department director. And actually, like I used to say that I was very famous at that time in the bank because we earned a lot of money for the bank.
Which department that is?
That was very related close to the credits and customer loans, consumer loans. And then after that, I joined Balta Latvia, telecommunication company, and after 2 years there, I joined. Actually, I started my career in the insurance field, and then I spent there for a bit more than 10 years. It was starting from the simple insurance company here in Latvia. It was Balta, the biggest player in the market. Then I spent 2 years in MetLife, which is the biggest life insurance company in the world. And then a bit more than 3 years I was a managing director for country manager, by the way, in Latvia and Estonia for the Coface, which is a finance insurance company third in the world. And after that, I was diagnosed by the cancer, and I took a year off, and I was, let's say, fighting for my life at that time. And then I get well, and after that I was attracted from the ERST Finance. And at the beginning, actually, I didn't want to join the company at all because I thought, it's not interesting for me. I don't want to do anything there, and how can I help them? But they were approaching me, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times, and then somehow I agreed, but I didn't agree as an employee. I started as a consultant for the sales force, sales business, how to develop that direction. And after 2 months, when my project was closed, and it was closed very, I would say, good for the company and also for me, the owners of the company proposed me to join the company as a sales director. And after months there, I was proposed to continue my career as a managing director. And right now I am a CEO of ERST Finance.
Okay.
So shortly about me.
Yeah, that's rather inspiring story, I would say. So 7 years in the banking, then 10 years in insurance, then 1 year fighting to actually keep living. Yeah. So did that change perspective that you wanted to go back into the business and keep like working, or there was some life evaluation? Okay, what is the next for you?
Yeah, it was there, and I had some time to think about it. But to those who know me, that know that I cannot stop. I need to do a lot of things, and some friends of mine are saying that I'm like a non-stop engine, so I cannot sit in the corner and just wait for something. So I need to do everything all the time.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, so ERST Finance, you have started as a consultant and now you are CEO, so but maybe describe the business model of the ERST Finance. What is ERST Finance? What you guys are doing there?
So I would say that we are one of the most recognizable players in SME financing in Latvia.
SME, small and medium
Small and medium enterprises, yeah, exactly. And overall, we have, let's say, two directions. One of them is the short-term financing, which is more like for daily business, for some purchases and things that you need to do their own company, to run the company. And the second part of our business is like for some investment and development projects. And I would say that it's very hard to impress somebody there because we had the same products as every bank in whole the world, which is loans and leasing. But the most important part in alternative financing, which ERST Finance is the terms and conditions and the speed. So how fast can you prepare the contract, how fast you can evaluate the customer risk, and how fast can you pay out money. And this is the core of the alternative financing and FinTech overall, I would say, around the world. And this is what we do.
Okay, we will get to that, but so let's split. So short-term financing, what it means for the business. So what is the short-term for the business? For an individual, short-term is usually a few months. Yeah. So but for businesses,
yeah, this is the same for the companies as well, which means that you finance, as we used to say, your daily needs. You need to buy some raw materials to produce your end product. So this is what we do. We finance the purchase of those raw materials. And the most common term is like 60 or 90 days that you get paid for the products you need. And then you pay them back, and after that you can do it again and again and again and again.
So it's to bridge this gap in financing what you need to produce more and
Exactly.
faster, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and the long term, so what is the long term in the sense of companies? So how long you are giving out those loans?
So the most common term is 2 to 3 years. And again, it's more like a bridge loans because why the companies approach alternative financing? Because they cannot onboard and step into the banks. I don't want to speak about the reasons right now, but there could be several of them. And that's why companies are looking for the financing in the alternative sector. And but as you know, that the price for the money there is much higher than in the banks, and that's why we used to say that 2-3 years is for us long-term business. But of course, we can finance in like 5 and 10 years as well. But you need to understand that then you should have such kind of business that could cover that cost of the money. And usually 2-3 years are enough to restructure the business that you can join the bank. And banks understand why have you been there for 1, 2, 3 years, and then you are ready for the next step and to get financing from the bank.
In which industries this financing is necessary? So where you see the most of the demand come from? What kind of type of companies?
I would say almost every. There are a few industries which we would not like to finance, and they are construction, transport, and logistics.
Why that?
Because there are a lot of risk. There are a lot of risk, not only for the alternative financing, but overall in the market. And let's say we know that they are part of the gray economy as well, and we don't want to take part in that.
So it's much harder to evaluate the risk of the company in those
It's easy.
industries.
No, it's very easy.
Easy. There is high risk, yeah.
Yes, it's very high risk, and we just do not want to step in.
Okay. Do you need a license for this? So how this all works? So you are giving the loans, so that's something like the bank service. Is there some license that you have to have?
In our case, we do not have any license. We are regulated by the State Revenue Service, and that's it overall. And this is the, let's say, brilliance of Latvian legal legislation that we can do business without any license there. Yeah, that helps for us, but maybe it's not so let's say, from the opposite side, from where we can finance our customers. We have our investors, we have credit line from the bank, and we have our shareholders. And comparing to the consumer finance, for instance, if we're talking about your company, and when we are talking about the private persons.
Individuals.
Individuals, then there's a complete difference because, for instance, for ERST Finance, there's much less investors who take care of do we have this license or not, and that's why it's quite easy for us to operate our business, and we're quite happy about that.
But does it mean that you don't have the license, that there is no regulation that you apply, or what are the rules, the game of the rules for you as issuing loans?
Yeah, there is no regulation as such if we compare to the banks or other regulated companies on the market. But of course, as I said, we are regulated by the state revenue service, and they are, let's say, also quite tight with their regulations and demands and the instructions which we need to follow to be in the market and to be in the market safe for us and also safe for our customers.
Can you give some examples of how this practically works out? So what they are actually, what kind of frameworks they are putting on you? So what you cannot do or can do?
Actually, it's very similar for any other company in Latvia. We work as a joint stock company, but it's the same like limited liability company as well. And for instance, last week I visited the State Revenue Service office and we had a huge audit about the AML issues and AML questions. And this is what they do right now, and they do it very, very carefully and very seriously.
Okay, so you have to comply with IML, all the rules.
Sure.
Same as in like individual lending side. Yeah? So you have to evaluate the businesses, the beneficial owners, everything for where the money comes from, so on.
Exactly, exactly, yeah.
Okay. Do you have the legal department, compliance department, something like that?
Yes, of course we have, yeah.
So how many people you have, like which taking care?
One.
One.
Yeah.
So
we have department, we have specialists, and we have an expert in one person.
Okay, that's a good person. Yeah, that's a very good person. Okay, and then this all compliance, it's mostly work with the state revenue services, and that's the only stakeholder who is kind of giving some kind of rules for you.
Not really work with the state revenue service, let's say we're doing on a daily basis, but yeah, we have a department with one person there. But if we are looking into my company, then I outsource a lot of services, and AML is one of them. So we would not be able to cover all the questions which are with the one person. He's more or less managing that area, and this is actually my point of running the business, that you should do as much as you can, but if there are somebody else who is smarter than you, you should buy that service or business from there. And AML is one of them, which we do, which we outsource.
Okay,
yeah.
so there's a company which is like specializing in the AML evaluations. Okay, yes. So for students, it's also opportunity to create their AML teams and sell the services for companies like ERST Finance. Okay. So you already mentioned like one compliance. So how big actually is the ERST Finance? How many employees do you have in overall?
9.
9. Okay, so that's a rather small team. So
and
what are the loan portfolio which you are managing?
It's like 30 million.
30 million. Okay, and issuing in per month. So how much you're issuing? So what is the
3 to 5.
3 to 5 million.
Yeah.
Okay, with 9 people, that's a quite good volume. Yeah. So of course in business world there is always usually higher tickets. Yeah. So what you issue. Yeah? So what is the biggest loan you have issued?
It's like 4 million.
4 million.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's even up to millions of euros that you can come and
get
financing.
Sure. Yeah, as you used to say, the sky is the limit. So if there's a project which can convince us that we should step in, we are always ready to check it out.
So it's usually more or less the same companies which come again and again for the financing, or you are also actually attracting new companies which need the money?
It depends. 80% of our customers have tried and have stayed. But from those 80%, most of them used to use our short-term products. For the long term, you know that if we sign a contract, they are with us at least for, I would say, in average, it's for 2 years. So after the project is over, it depends how successful they were during all those 24 months. If they were successful and they can bridge to the bank, then of course it's our Wiedersehen.
Yeah.
We finished with them.
Of course, they can get cheaper financing.
Yeah, exactly. But in case they have second or next project and our cooperation was good, then both of us are ready to continue. And yeah, for those projects which are for the long term, it's usually they are like one-timers.
Okay, and these companies are only from Latvia, yeah? So you are not financing outside of Latvia?
Not exactly. We work
Okay.
also abroad. We have customers there as well. Mostly, of course, there are Lithuania and Estonia, but we have customers also in Scandinavia, Poland, Germany. We had some there, yeah.
But you have local?
No.
Some kind.
We
So
do
representation
business.
is only here,
Yes.
yes, so, but also you're issuing for the loan for
Yeah.
the companies in the
Yes.
Europe as well, yeah? Okay, so it's a global reach, European reach as well, yeah?
Yeah, we are trying to do that, but there's more risk, and we cannot control it as good as we can do it here locally.
Yeah, of course.
Because as I used to say, again, for instance, if you are taking the Latvia, a very quite small country, and in case of something, after 3.5 hours, we can be in the customer's office, factory, or warehouse, whatever it be, Liepāja or Daugavpils. But if you are talking about other countries and other cities, it becomes a bit complicated.
Not sure that you can disclose, but maybe you can name some example of company who is using this financing, alternative financing.
Actually, I would not like
I
to
had a
mention them.
suspicion,
Yeah, because we used to keep this confidence with our customers that they would like to keep. I'm not saying the secret, but if they would like to come out and say, "Hey, we are." Actually, no, we can say some of them because in our webpage they are mentioned some references. Yeah, for instance, there is company Gandrs. Who is selling sports equipment, and there are a few companies who are in the wood industry. So now there are some which are not afraid of us.
Yeah, no, I'm not as afraid. There are also companies which like is known companies. Ganders is a good example. Yeah, so everyone most likely knows the Ganders. Yeah, so
yeah, they have a shop right there.
Yeah, so they also are using this type of financing. It's not the shame to use the alternative financing.
Sure.
That's interesting to hear that this is the common practice. Yeah. All right, good. So maybe let's talk about the business development of the ERST Finance. So can you name some key milestones in the ERST Finance way? So how you have grown over the years? So maybe what has been the key drivers here?
I would say that the most driver, it's always a personnel. It's your team. It's your colleagues, your teammates and experts. How good they are, as you know, how weak is your
weakest chain link.
Yes, exactly. So so strong you are, and this is what I used to say in every company I was, even before the ERST Finance, because this is my opinion, and you should be as good as you can, and that's why. And this is how you can build the company with good confidence, good results, and good mindset, and reach very high limits. And actually, regarding to the personnel, as from the manager point of view, you should be brave enough to take decisions. If the personnel is not performing well, then you should take those decisions.
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions. So you have 9 persons, so each person brings a huge value to the company. How hard it was to actually like onboard this team, to get this team together? Yeah, so
Quite hard, I would say, quite hard. I would even say that it took some years to become where we are right now. And I would say right now we are very, very strong.
yeah, so each person is a key person in the process, and now you can say that, okay, this is a good team where I can develop.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
so one of the key drivers is the team. So what else is like how you unlock the business for yourselves?
Yeah, it was like 3 years ago when we attracted the financing from the bank, from the local bank here in Latvia, because before we worked only with the shareholders' capital and with the investors' capital, and that gave us a huge push. And actually we scaled our business like two and three times, and that was like a big turn for the ERST Finance, and actually we can see it already right now that we continue to grow and develop because we get cheaper financing and as much as we needed at that time and nowadays.
That has changed because previously banks were not that open to finance like alternative kind of competition. Yeah? So how do you see this? Why it has changed? So what has changed in the recent years?
Actually, it haven't changed much because I have heard, I have my own experience and I have heard only few others, but it is changing right now. Yeah, because as you mentioned just right now that yes, some time ago, and maybe some bigger banks still feel this competition, which is cool.
Yeah.
We feel this competition with alternative segment, but it will change in the future for sure because we will go completely different directions.
How you convince the bank to actually, hey, you can give us money, we will do the lending like you are doing, but just in different segments?
That's my know-how. No, but overall, it took a bit more than a year to convince the bank, and there was a lot of reports, a lot of meetings, a lot of, as you said, meetings with convincing them and showing how we do business, comparing to them, what are our risk appetites, why they are not, why they will not lose their money to working with us. But yeah, I would say it will change in the future. In next 3, 4, 5 years, I would say that the banks will be more open.
Yeah, we can see that already in some companies also in the fintech space. I know that they are getting credit lines from the banks, which wasn't imagined. We couldn't imagine like 5 years ago that banks would open up for fintech companies.
You are completely true.
Yeah. All right, let's check in with the audience. Do we have some questions from the audience? Yep.
What kind of thank you. What kind of parameters do you use when, like, evaluating companies to give this financing? Because for such short term, like, there's, I think, a lot of bigger risks. So, what kind of aspects do you look at when evaluating a company?
Actually, it's a very good question because there's a huge difference how we do this evaluation when we are looking on the short-term financing and when we are looking on the long-term financing. Because for the short-term products, we do not use any collateral or the pledge. So, which means that the company must be, as I used to say, very healthy. Which means that it is in the market at least for 2 years. Our target customer works with at least 1 million plus turnover yearly. They work with the profit. They do not have any debts with the taxes. They do not have any records in some black books. And like I said, these are healthy companies. They could be a bit less than 1 million turnover a year, but all the data, all the criteria should be positive. Yeah. And by the way, we outsource this part of the evaluation, which means that we do not have any emotions there from the manager point of view, from the managers and from the project managers point of view. So, because sometimes you can visit the company, see the factory and say, yeah, this is so cool products, so we must finance them because they work very well. But actually, their finance are very weak. And comparing to long-term products, then we look to the collateral and the pledge. And again, of course, it's important how wealthy company is at that moment. But overall, we are checking also the business plan and where the company would like to be after a year or two and how they will use our financing to develop their business.
Is that, so you are outsourcing, so that's a manual evaluation case by case, or you have some kind of automations there in place as well?
We have some automations as well, yeah.
But it's not like in consumer finance where like 95% are automatically approved,
No.
So it's quite manual still, right?
Yeah.
Because it's much harder to evaluate the business case.
Yeah. Because the most difference between the consumer and the business is that in consumer case, you have much more data which are online, or at
like
least
credit
they're
bureaus
fresh.
Or like statements, account statements.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
stuff like that,
And from the business, as you know, that overall you have data for the previous year. And for instance, right now, when we are in October, we can get only information from the last year. Of course, we always ask for the operative data from the company, but again, you can manage it. So you should trust, but you cannot trust.
And for long term, so how it changes, like evaluation from short term into long term? Yeah? So you said there is difference.
Like I said, then we are looking for the pledge.
Okay, the pledge collateral. Yeah,
and this is the main thing which we are looking at.
Okay, short term it's unsecured, and then in the long
Yep.
term it's secured, and then the pledge and all that's related.
Yep.
Okay, good. Any other questions?
Okay, so I have a question. Have you ever had a situation where a company does not pay back the loan, and how do you usually proceed?
Yes, of course. It's a part of the financing business, and
You give money and hope that they will give back.
exactly. This is how we do the business. The hope. But yeah, you can use insurance. You can look for the pledge and then go to the court. But overall, the first thing what should be done, it's you should talk with the customer, and customer should talk with the finance company and try to find the solution why there are such a situation that you became there that you cannot pay back. And actually, this is very simple.
How it usually ends, you restructure the loan and they are able to pay back in the longer term or different terms, or actually there's defaults is happening as well?
In 75% we do the restructuring, and in most cases they are able to cover it, just in longer terms and with different conditions. But overall, now, if you are taking the year from the company, of course we have also some defaults. Because like I said, it's a part of the finance business. You can ask this question to any bank in the world and they will say the same.
Yeah, I would like to say also the bank or who is issuing the loans and without no defaults.
Yeah, even if you're trying to finance your friend, so there is a part of the risk that you cannot get back your money.
Totally. Okay, one more question? Oh, a few more.
I think this was first.
My question is that I heard you are financing customers abroad. Maybe you're planning to open a new location abroad, and how do you know when to open a new location if you're planning to open a new location?
Actually, we had a branch in Lithuania, and also we established the company in Poland before the COVID. And we had quite huge plans there, but COVID changed it a lot. And we closed those branches there, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, because we can serve those countries right now from here, from office in Riga. And today we are not planning to expand like with the branches somewhere else abroad.
So what changed in the COVID? So before the COVID you had the expansion plans, so after the COVID you don't have the expansion plans. So what was the main decision driver for that? So what you saw that now it's different world?
Actually, there was a very interesting issue that, let's say, the day before the COVID, we launched a new product, which were very interesting for the very small companies. There were no pledges, there were collaterals, just a private guarantee. And we started to sell them like one to two per day. And for the alternative sector, it's quite a lot amount for the first months when you are launching the product without any marketing campaign. And after the months, COVID started. And that was the actually main reason why we took a decision not to go abroad, because that was the main product with whom we would like to go outside of the Latvia.
So you kill the product at
Yes,
all, yeah? So
yeah.
you are not looking to
Kill the
actually
product, kill the branches, kill the plans for...
stick to what you know, yeah?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So we had a few more questions, yeah?
So as a startup founders, I have actually explored venture debt. So in venture debt, you usually get 10% of the next round to get that approved. So do you also have some certain criteria that you give to the businesses for their next, like risk assessment or something like that?
I'm very sorry, didn't understand the question.
So like I'm into venture debt. So in venture debt, if I raise money from bank and from the next round, I need to make sure 10% of the amount is being
Yeah.
raised. So in the same case, do you also make sure that X amount of money should be given so that you get that back?
You mean, do we finance some kind of venture capital business?
In your own target audience, like small and medium enterprises or the manufacturers you are
Yeah.
catering right now. So do you make sure that there are some criteria on which you give them the money?
Yeah, of course we have some criteria, and we can, let's say, finance additional part of the amount which is needed if the company cannot get everything from the bank.
And do you even tend to go in the startup funding or in the venture debt?
No.
No.
So it's just debt financing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you find that more risk or like?
Yes, from let's say from our risk appetite, we do not see such kind of products and such kind of financing from our risk appetite perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so you have firmly focus in medium and small.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, you
Okay,
plan to expand?
let's move on, yeah. Otherwise it will be just two of you discussing, yeah. But let's move on. We will return to the audience questions a bit later. But you mentioned, yeah, that you are outsourcing AML, you are outsourcing the evaluation of the companies. So the logical question, so how you manage actually, there is no like fraud or risks of financial crime, so how you are supervising that, or actually is there some kind of that
Of course,
situations?
there's always a risk of the fraud. And this is again part of the financing business. You cannot be sure that you will not meet it. Of course, we do a lot, and most actually of this is actually our experience, because we have seen and met some fraud before, and it actually we were part of the fraud victims 8 years ago,
Okay.
when we as a company we lost 2 million euros. And that was a huge amount. At that time, it was like half of our business. And that was a big lesson for us. And right now, we do a lot to make some prevention of it. But it's similar in every finance product, that if somebody steps into your office and apply for the financing and everything is very cool and very great and very transparent, you do not know the person, and you do not know what he's trying to, how he's trying to cooperate with you, and this is the part you will never find out before.
Can you elaborate a bit on this fraud case? So how it played out? So how it was done? Yeah. So.
Oh, it was actually very complicated, and we, as I said, we were a part of it because
It's like 2 million. Is
yeah,
huge loss.
yeah, for us it was big, but overall it was all the fraud case was a bit more than 25 million euros across the Europe, and there were involved. The main author of this fraud case was a very professional market player from Estonia, who were operating in very interesting field, which is cacao beans,
Okay.
which is the stock product. And they were involved, like, 7 or 8 countries, including Russia, Belarus, Belgium, Germany, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and some Scandinavian countries as well. And yeah, that was the factoring product, and it was financed, but the products will not be delivered. And all this started. He got 4 criminal cases in Estonia. Some of them were even in other European countries. Yeah, it was quite painful.
So someone wants to buy cacao beans.
Yeah.
So this guy promised to deliver. So you finance this transaction, but at the end, actually, he didn't deliver the beans and just got the money. Yeah? So
Exactly.
that's the fraud.
Because the factoring business is most like a papers.
Yeah.
You do not see the product.
The goods, of course. Yeah. Okay, so in this case, you kind of had to receive back the money, but the goods were not delivered, so also the buyer couldn't kind of give you back the money.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how it ended? So it's all lost, or you got back something, or those criminal proceedings are still going?
The proceedings are still going. We still have some court cases. Imagine it's already 7 years.
Yeah.
Which is abroad. It's not here in Latvia. And we get back like, 40% of it, like almost $1 million.
Okay. Then yeah, but like for new company, that could be also the dead end. Yeah. So if you just
very close to that. Yeah.
All right. Very very good case of the fraud. Yeah. So not in the good sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so how it all can play out. Yeah. So how you have to be careful about that. Okay, but let's move on. So you mentioned that you tried several products to also be innovative, create some kind of new for small and medium, the new markets before the COVID. Yeah. So what is your mindset? How you are approaching the product building? Yeah. So in the ERST company, so ERST Finance.
Mm-hmm. No, actually, it's also like an advice for the colleagues here in the audience that first of all you should look and find what market demands, because anyway, if you are trying to show or produce the product or invent something that is already in the market, you will not win. You will just spend your time and lose your money. And this is the, let's say, number one approach, that you should find something that it is not in the market now.
Some differentiator.
Exactly. Yeah. And then and then next thing, how much the market demands it, because maybe it's a very small niche product, but you should go around the market as much as you can. I would say this is the main criteria and main driver to look for the new products.
And what if we compare the ERST Finance case? So what is the differentiator that see that you are different than others, and that you are able to kind of?
This is like I mentioned several times here already, this is the short-term financing product.
That's the key, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, because I do not know any other company who owns the same product as it is.
So it's a very specific product for a very specific need, yeah? So that's what differentiates you from other alternative financing. Because you are not the only ones, right, in the market.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say we have the main product for working capital financing in Latvia, and you can get it in ERST Finance. Yeah.
Do you now plan to actually develop some new products, or you are just stick with these two and that's it for you now, and you are not planning to do something more?
Today we are very well stick with those products as we have right now, but this is not a secret anymore, because at the end of August, we received the collective financing license for the collective financing platform, and there will be a separate company, and we will go also to that niche as well.
So the crowdfunding license,
yes,
that actually was one of our question from the YouTube. So that's interesting that you, under the CR Flow, got this license.
Yes.
So what's your plan? You will start to crowdfund for some projects, or can you maybe a bit elaborate? So what's your business idea here?
First of all, we are talking about our own ERST Finance products, how to attract more financing, because we have a very big part of our portfolio where there we can get, let's say, more money out of it, and
Okay.
also for the customers. And then, of course, we see in the market there is a demand and there is a possibility to finance more that we are doing right now.
So the demand on the borrowing side
Yes,
is much
exactly.
higher than actually you can get the funding to finance
Yes,
that, and this
yes.
crowdfunding then will be the means how you actually attract more funding from investors. Yes.
And also we can add a bit more risk, which is a bit more as if you are comparing with the ERST Finance appetite.
So you will just pass it to the investors,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting that you already answered the question from the YouTube. Yeah. Okay. Maybe some other has some questions on the audience. You had some questions. Still, it's loaded. Catch.
Thank you. How do you analyze data in your company to understand the small and medium-sized businesses, whether you should finance them or not, or do you have like a system and approach to do it?
Yeah, of course we have, and this is our know-how overall. And the first, let's say, if some company applies for the financing, there's the first step when we see all the data which we have in public registers. This is the first thing. The second thing is what kind of information the company provided for us. This is the second step. And then the third one, if they go through this filter, then we, as I mentioned also a few times, that we outsource this evaluation. And then we pass it to the outsourced company who gave us the answer about the amount of the limit in which we can go with the potential customer.
So it's in several like tiers, yeah.
Yes.
So it's something is happening internally to some level, then you outsource, get more opinions and evaluations, and then you make a final decision on credit.
Correct.
It's like manual process, or is automated?
Part of it's manual and part of it automatic.
Right.
Okay, good. We had some other questions, yeah.
As you mentioned, the biggest core of your company's team, 9 people. My question is in regards, how do you keep them motivated, how you share the vision, what is about the culture, how you keep this team together and perform?
2 pizzas and beer, right?
Yeah. Daily. By the way, yeah, the beer is always in our fridge, so for somebody maybe it is a beer. But overall I would say that the right people in the right position in the right place. And there, of course, we have some package from the all employees. We have some individual motivators, but overall I would say that this is the passion and this is the teamwork and cooperation between the employees, and they must feel and they feel very good in the office and in the company. And I would say that this is one of the biggest motivators, that the feeling in the area, in the business what we are doing is very, very open. For instance, I can say for myself that during whole my life I was doing only the job what I love, what I really passionate, what I really want to achieve something, do something more, to work that extra mile. And you can be an example for the others, and if you can lead them, they will follow you. And I think, I hope that this is the way how, which motivates my colleagues. And the beer.
Most likely, if you're passionate, then there is no need for extra motivation. Yeah? So you like what you do, and you go and do that. Yeah. So, but you have like led the small teams and bigger teams. Yeah? So where do you see where you can do more now in the ERST Finance with small team or with the bigger teams? What you have done in the past?
It's complete different things, because I had time when I had like 100 employees. small team is much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that much relations to manage,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah.
And also the verticality of the skill. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, Ines?
Hi. Yes, thank you very much. Very interesting talk. I have a question for the sake of the students who are in my class, for example. So we are developing various competencies, skills, learning things together. What would you say from where you stand today? You're in a very successful business. You run the business. You're the CEO. So what are the competencies, the skills that you think today's BA students should really kind of develop and do that extra mile and push themselves to the limits to actually be very good at it, to succeed in your type of business, in the business of your borrowers? So what it is that you would suggest that is absolutely something that is necessary today?
I would rephrase it in this way that I think that every person in the world should do the job and should do the work what he loves, what he really loves and like. And this is and it will be the part of the victory, for sure. And it doesn't matter what kind of skills you have right now and what kind of competencies you have right now. You will learn them during your way. And from my point of view, this is the most important. But of course, if you want to go to, I don't know, whatever direction you will take, then you should find a mentor. You should study the basics, and you should be brave enough to take a risk. And if you will, from my point of view, you will take these three, they are not competencies, like things, then you will succeed for sure.
And learn to sleep 5 hours per night only, and then you have much more hours to work. Yeah, so
I do not agree.
So you said that you will launch a crowdfinancing
Yeah.
as a product. How much time it took from decision that you are going to the new product till implementation? That's a question, but through the question, how many ideas you was looking for and how much was rejected during the process, deciding about the new product launch? And the last thing, have you simulating these new products, how it look like in market and what benefit you will get from them?
Yeah,
3 questions in one.
Yeah, but it was a very good question. Yeah, yes, we did. Of course, we did some market research, and actually taking the decision wasn't hard at all. It was, in a alternative financing, you should think and act very fast. If you are not doing that, you are already lost. Yeah, and that's why I take the decision to do crowdfunding. It was like almost like this.
Okay.
But as I mentioned, and you heard it very well, that we get the license at the end of August. It took for us a bit more than 2 years to get the license. And the process was actually very challenging, very, very challenging. But, and it only, when you get the license, you are only in the middle of the project, because then starts the implementation phase, which is IT compliance, personnel, etc., investors, etc., and etc. And this is what we are doing right now, and we believe that we will be able to launch the business at the beginning of the next year. I would say it will be the end of the first quarter.
And like this was one of the ways how to attract more funding. Did you evaluate what are the other options? Because this is quite investment heavy to go in this area. So why this was better option than any other? So did you evaluate maybe bonds or something else, how to attract more funding?
I didn't say that it was the only decision.
Okay.
And it wasn't easy at all. But Yes, of course. We have looked also for the other options as well, and I would say that there's a very high chance that we will go also for the bonds in the next 2-3 years.
Okay, so you're looking actually how to diversify the funding
Exactly.
in any possible
Yes.
way, yeah, because
Yeah.
each comes with cost, with time and everything, yeah, so.
Mhm.
Okay, and the last was, yeah, about the simulations, yeah, in the market, so how do you actually approach this? Like if you started like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
market was totally different.
Exactly,
Then
yeah.
2 years later, it's in different spaces, so how do you
We
you
did
adjust it?
some huge adjustments during those 2 years. Yeah, it was complicated. It was complicated, but you know, when you already are in the train and it's running like I don't know for 200 kilometers per hour, you cannot just jump out, or it will be very painful.
Yeah. But was there any idea? Okay, let's stop it. Let's not go for that, or still you kind of said train is
No.
going and let's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
keep going. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's talk a bit about like, okay, you are like developing crowd platform or crowdfunding as well. So, but like there's new technologies coming into the play, like AI, blockchain, and all that part. How do you see that's something that also will change your business? You see there will be some benefit from these technologies. Maybe you are already using something from that.
Not much, but of course it will leave some impact on our business as well. And first of all, it will be quite a big automatization, and this is what we are doing already right now, implementing several processes that will kill labor work and will automate some daily work.
Okay, so you see that there will some benefits also for your process, which is quite manual.
Yep.
Now, yeah. Okay, and maybe the last thing that we have to ask to you, maybe one piece of advice for students who now thinks, yes, I want to build new ERST Finance or new fintech company. Yeah, so what is like one thing that you would give to them?
If you are afraid of starting this idea and start to develop your project, then do it with a fear. Do it with a fear and become a unicorn.
That's good advice. Become a unicorn, yeah? So easy as that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the really nice discussion. We have to wrap up, but before we jump to other stuff, yeah. So I just want to remind that this is not the last FinTech Close-Up this season. We have 2 more sessions to go, and next will be with the Indexo, the local bank, quite known. Yeah. So while the 6th will be here on 12th of November, and we will talk about the Indexo story. Yeah. So welcome to join in 12th of November. Thank you, Arnis, for being here, telling
Thank
your
you.
experience. Wishing you all the best.